In this tutorial, we're going to look at a neat trick that we can do in Dreamweaver, which is related to creating an image gallery. But in this particular case is an interactive image gallery. What we'd do is we'd hover over a small image, and then somewhere else on the screen a larger version of the same image would appear. First of all, we need to prepare our images. What I've got here are two separate images, but I've got two different versions of the same image. You can see here I've got daffodils small, daffodils big. This one I've called desktop small and desktop big. The small images are the little thumbnail images. They're the ones that you'll hover your mouse over. When you do that, the larger images, what I've called big here, will appear somewhere else on your screen. To determine whereabouts on our screen the image is going to go, we need this space image. You can call it whatever you want, I've just called it space. Now this needs to be the same size in width and height as your big images. That's why I want to make sure that when I'm preparing my images, the big images are the same size as each other. Likewise, the small images are all modified to the same width and height. And I've done that in Fireworks. Now when I go over to Dreamweaver, if I click Create New HTML, this is going to be our web page. You can see I've already set up a root folder here called Danielle, and inside the root folder I have the two different versions, big and small, of the daffodils picture, same for the desktop picture and for the space image. First I'm going to insert a table. I want, say, 3 rows, 3 columns. I'm just going to leave the rest that I've got here as it is and press OK. Just while the table is highlighted, I'm going to go down to here to the properties and center that. Always looks a bit nicer. Now for my purposes, I'm just going to merge the cells in the middle row and then again in the bottom row. The top row I'm going to keep in 3 columns as if these are the cells for the little small thumbnail images. So I'm just going to, within each of the cells that I'm going to work with in this tutorial, I'm going to click this in the cell and then just change the horizontal and vertical alignments to center and middle respectively. So that can be for one thumbnail, and then that was for the second thumbnail. Now I want the one where the larger image is going to go, so it's all nice and centered perfectly. Oops, I needed to merge those, and I'll change that to center, middle, horizontal and vertical alignment respectively. Now I'm going to click in the cell at the top, and because I've got the root folder up, I'm just going to click and drag the small image. Now this message just says, do you realize that your web page is not saved? So I'm just going to go OK, press OK again, and then come up here, go File, Save As. Give that a name, press Save. That's just going to avoid that message coming up again. Now I'm going to go over for the other small image and just click and drag that into the other cell. Then finally, in my preparation, I'm going to go down to the image that I've called space. Now this is just a white rectangle, which is the same size as my big images that I've already prepared. It's white because, as you can see, the background of the page is white. If you've got a black page, well, make your space black. Just going to put that in the middle cell, and then in the bottom cell, going to give a little description, creating an interactive gallery. You don't need that, it's just there as extra. So what we've mainly got, 2 small images and 1 large image that's just going to act as a bit of a container. But I need to name all these images. So I click on one image, Down on the left of the properties here, click on the image text box, and I'm going to call that Daffodils SML for small. I'm just going to keep it here the same name as my small image. I don't need to, but it's just out of habit that I do. Click on the next one, desktop small, press enter to apply, and then I'm also going to do it on the space image. Press enter to apply. The next and final thing we're going to do is make the interactivity happen. We need to go up here to the Behaviors panel. If this isn't open on your screen, all you need to do is go up to Window menu and about halfway down select Behaviors. Once that's showing, you press the plus sign, meaning Add Behavior. A behavior is something that Dreamweaver is going to write all the code for you. 2/3 of the way down is a swap image option. Now, what I need selected at the top is the space image. This is the one that I want to change. Down below, I'm going to browse for the image that I want to change it to. Before I do that, actually, I need to make sure that Dreamweaver knows which image I'm selecting, or which image we want to hover over in order to make the change appear. So, click on the small daffodils image, go over to Behaviors, click Add Behavior, Swap Image. What image do we want to swap? We want to swap the space image, which is just this white blank rectangle, nothing else. Press Browse. What image do we want to swap it with? Daffodils Big. OK. Then press OK. Now I'm going to do the same with the next one. Click on the thumbnail, click the plus sign for Add Behavior, and choose Swap Image. Which image do I want to swap? It's the space image again. Which image do I want to swap it with? Click Browse, Desktop Big, OK, and OK again. Just going to go up here and press File Save or Control S on your keyboard, and then press F12 on your keyboard to preview your web page. When I hover my mouse over the smaller daffodils image, the big image appears where that white rectangle was. Hover away, we get back to the original white rectangle, and in this case it looks like the page is blank. Hover over the next one, the next big image appears. So imagine you've got a whole row or couple of rows of thumbnail images, and then every time you hover over the thumbnail, up pops the bigger version. And that's it for creating a really simple interactive gallery in Dreamweaver.